If you want to change some part of your life, but you feel stuck, you are literally addicted to your old life, your old patterns, your old stories, your old emotions. But the coolest part is literally just acknowledging this is step one to breaking free from all of this. I'm so freaking passionate about this topic because we've all been there. We've been like, geez, I keep going back to the toxic ex, or I keep eating the unhealthy food, or I keep, dwelling on the past and sadness and regrets and all this stuff. And I can't seem to stop. Literally, it has become an addiction. And your brain is wired to seek comfort and familiarity, which keeps us trapped in old ways of thinking, of acting, and conforming to our, the identity that we see ourselves as. And so what I want to talk about is one, you need to understand this, your brain is literally just constantly trying to seek consistency. And so the next piece is what you've experienced in your life becomes your standards for life itself. So if you're well, actually I've only dated narcissists and toxic people. If you can just start to break that and realize whoa, wait, all relationships aren't like that. There are actually people out there who treat other people with unconditional love. There are people who will put your needs first. There are people who will do that without even batting an eye. And so what you need to realize is that when you have a certain standard and it's all you know in life, anything outside of that becomes scary, confusing, or uncomfortable. And which ultimately means we can get addicted to things we don't even enjoy. And it's exactly that example of going back to a toxic ex because they give you these little breadcrumbs of love. And you're well, actually, that made me feel good because my standards were so low that actually that is my definition of love. When someone gives me one compliment and then 10 gaslightings. Just acknowledging this stuff is where we're going to take your power back. So step number one, acknowledge that you are potentially addicted to your old life. Step number two is to take radical responsibility. Realize that you are responsible for literally everything in your life. Every good thing, every bad thing. The second that you stop blaming your circumstances on other people is the moment that you take your power back and you realize, whoa, if I've created all this, I can create I can create anything else. And realize that complaining and making excuses literally are just a waste of time. Complaining about other people and the hardships that you face and the obstacles and how difficult it is, it's cool, life isn't fair. There are people who are literally born into countries and situations where, oh my gosh, they have so many hardships to face. There are people who don't have access to clean water, something that a lot of us take for granted. And so yes, I get it. Those are hardships. Those are truly things to overcome. But even in those situations, it's cool. We were dealt a really bad hand and that's not fair. What can we do with that? How can we work from there? And realize that you can create any reality that you desire. And to do this, we need to take different actions. And to get to there, that brings us to step 3, which is changing your mindset. That's the first thing that needs to change in all of this. You need to realize that, you don't need to realize, but I should say, the thing that has become the most empowering thing in my life was realizing that life is always happening for me and not to me. Everything is either helping me get what I want in life, or it's teaching me a lesson or some information that helps me get what I want. Literally is one or the other. And I like to think every hardship I face, every challenge, every person that makes me uncomfortable or crosses my boundaries is literally there just to give me a little gift. Here you go, John. Here's some more information about yourself, what you want, your values, what you stand for, that are gonna help you go after what you truly desire in this world. And it's with that thinking that made me realize there are literally no right and wrong decisions. There's no I'm gonna make the bad choice choice here. It's like, no way, you either get what you want or you get information that helps you get what you want. Both are great. Both are right decisions. And the real big goal here is I want to work on reprogramming your mind away from focusing on what's missing or living in the past or the future or focusing on what's going wrong, and towards focusing on what you have, the present moment, and what's going well. And I think my favorite term on this is delusional optimism. Being so optimistic and grateful and happy for every single thing in life, to the point where like someone else would be like, you're insane. You know bad things can happen, right? And you're like, yeah, I know they can, but I don't focus on any of them. And then I ask myself, like, what's the worst that happens when I live this way? I enjoy life more? Like, sign me up. The last bits of mindset I want to talk about is the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So fixed is when someone's like, they speak in absolutes, like things are always this way or never that way. This is just the way I am. Or they don't have an open-mindedness or an ability to see how things could be a little different. A growth mindset is one that says, you know what? I'm not perfect. I'm constantly growing and changing. There's so much I don't know. And it's staying flexible. And literally what's wild is we literally see it in the brain. You are able, with thoughts alone, to build new neural pathways in your brain that we can literally look at under a microscope or an x-ray or whatever. And literally by having a fixed mindset, by doing the same routines, by believing the same things, by making the same excuses, you are literally keeping your brain in the exact same state. It's crazy. And the next one is an abundant mindset versus a scarcity mindset. This one is so life-changing. When you can realize, so a scarcity mindset would be saying like, there's no more good guys to date anymore. They're all taken. An abundance mindset would say, there's 8 billion people in the world. Of course, there are probably millions of great guys out there who would love to date you. And you can apply that to everything. You can apply that to views about money, views about jobs, views about the place you live, hobbies, friends. And if you can truly practice living in abundance, you can realize that actually this world has everything that you need and is just waiting to offer it to you. And yes, we have to work for it. You still need to provide value to the world and take action and make a plan and all that stuff. But when you do, literally everything is there for you. And so ultimately here, self-awareness and consistency are what are key to building these mindsets. And the next one is, so we have changed your mindset. We're gonna change your environment. And speaking of that, I'm gonna physically move this camera as well. So why I love this one is if you're still feeling stuck after this, you're like, okay, I've acknowledged that I'm addicted to this old way. I see how I'm falling into the same patterns. I agree, I'm responsible for it. I'm changing my mindset, but I still feel stuck. We're gonna change your environment. And what's wild here is your environment is so wildly influential of your entire life, your standards, everything. I love to say this, you are the sum of 3 things: the people you surround yourself with, the environment you put yourself in, and the content that you consume. I think this comes from Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn. He says you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So we're gonna go into each of those right now. So for people, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Literally their beliefs, their thoughts, their emotions, their excuses become yours. Their standards for everything in life, money, jobs, travel, hobbies, relationships, become your standards. So learn to say goodbye to those who are no longer meant for your journey, who no longer serve you for who you are now, today. I love that saying that people are here either for, what is it, like a lesson, a season, or a lifetime. And what's wild is what I've learned in the last year is even good people aren't always meant for you. And that's okay. You can say goodbye. Secondly, so surround yourself with people who actually lift you up, who make you feel good, who support your goals, who have the same values as you. And second, on environment, it's wild to think about how much this determines your life. Let me just take you around for a sec. I'm sitting on a beach right now. And it's such a good showcase. Like if I was sitting in, I don't know, a little dark black room, do you think I would feel different? Do you think I would have different thoughts? Do you think I'd be moving my body different? Yeah. And your environment literally determines, by determining the weather, like what you do outside or inside, it determines the activities that you can do. It determines what friends you can make, who you can date, the jobs that you have access to. It determines your entire home, what it looks like. And my biggest advice here is pick. I know we can't all just drop a hat and move anywhere. But at least ask yourself the question, are you happy where you are now? And where is your dream location? Like, what country? I need to just check in the tide to see if I can walk back. Yeah, what country? What's the weather like? Is it coastal? Is it rural? Is it city? All of it. Maybe you have like your favorite hobby is on the ocean, on the water. Like, so then where would you want to live? And then finally, for the home that you create a space that actually makes you feel safe and happy and whole. And then finally, the third piece is content here. You are what you consume. The books, the podcasts, the TV shows, the accounts you follow all add up to who you are. So ask yourself this question. Is what I consume full of fear, drama, problems, stresses? Or is what I consume empowering, loving, uplifting, exciting, passionate? And what I really recommend is doing a content diet cleanse. I've done this in the past where I'll go through all the accounts I'm following, like just pick a platform like Instagram, Facebook, and I will unfollow everything where I'm like, I don't want this information, or like this, why am I even following this? Mute all the friends who don't add something to your life, or unfollow them. And really just surround yourself. Like, imagine your world if everything you consumed made you feel good, because that's what it should do. And the big lesson here on changing your environment is I want to remind you, you cannot grow when you're in a cage. If you're surrounded by negative people in an environment that doesn't match who you are and what you want to do in life, and you consume stressful news all the time, like, that's your life. And then finally, number 5 is we're gonna start having you believe in yourself. You will never change if you don't actually believe in yourself. And so the key one here, and we talk about this in so many videos, is self-worth. And you develop this by having the courage. Here's a few different ways. Have the courage to choose a life true to yourself. Say affirmations that remind you of the truth about what an amazing person you are. Choose what values you want to live by and actually live by them, and have the integrity to do that. Understand that your gifts, understand what your gifts are in this world and share them with the world. That could be through a hobby, that could be through work, that could be through charity. And ultimately, develop self-worth by falling in love with your life. Just living, just being you. Accepting your imperfections and actually seeing them as something that adds to the greater image of who you are. And ultimately, be patient with yourself. Trust the process, and change does take time. I was in therapy for many years working on my own self-love, and that's okay. But ultimately, it's the small, consistent efforts that are going to lead to significant transformation in the long run. So just show up day by day. Show up for yourself. And what I want to leave you with is reminding you that literally anyone can change. Anyone can be happy, and all you need is the courage to do so. The courage to decide, the courage to take action, the courage to put yourself first, the courage to make mistakes and learn from them, the courage to move through fears and towards self-love. So, subscribe if you like this and you want to learn more about how to design and manifest the life of your wildest dreams. We are all here about positivity and love and manifestation and building your dream life. So I really hope you enjoyed this. And in case no one's told you today, you are perfect exactly as you are. You are worthy of your wildest dreams. And I love you, my friend. And with that, I will see you in the next one.